Okay, thank you for joining me today. This video, we're going to go over a new strategy that I just tested with Euro USD on the H1 1-hour time frame. Okay, now let's get started. I'm going to show you how to backtest this strategy. In this blog, I will supply the setting file below this video, so make sure you download it. But before you do anything, I really need you to go to tickstory.com and download that software and export it to your MetaTrader platform for Euro USD from 2017 January 1st to 2018 May 31st. And once you export it from TickStory data into your MetaTrader platform, then open up MetaTrader and start right now where I'm at here. Of course, we're going to have Euro USD. We're going to have every tick. We're going to use date visual mode, and we're going to go 2017 January 1st to 2018 May 31st. Make sure the period is H1 here. Make sure the spread is 30. That's 30 points. So it's only going to trade up to 3 pips spread. Okay, because the filter is actually the spread filter is going to be at 31, set at 31 points, and so it's not going to trade anything above 3 pips. Okay, make sure that's set properly, otherwise it's not going to work properly. And here we go. We're going to select the setting file over here. Where is it? Candle body, open Euro USD. Okay, we have the spread filter at 31 there. We're going to go down, down, down here. I'll show you what this is set up as. We're going to look back candles. This is set to true. It's actually the default settings, except I modified it a little bit. Look back candles at 20 candles greater than 200%. Candle body must be more than 1 pip in size, and the candle shift is 1, meaning that it's going to make sure that the candle is completely finished to analyze that candle. Make sure that the candle is over 200% greater than the previous 20 candles. Okay, so it's an extreme situation that we're looking for. We're looking for a candle that's 200% greater than the previous 20 candles. Okay, and I have it set up here, stop loss at a huge 152 stop loss. I have trailing start at 7, and we're going to trail 5. Okay, here we go. Visual mode is on, and let's get started. There we go. Here we go. Let's take a look at that. All right, now we got a candle here that is 200% larger than the previous 20 candles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. There we go, 20 candles, and then opens up a buy trade. And obviously, as you can see, we could have gotten more out of that trade, a lot more actually. We could have got over 50 pips, almost 60 pips out of that trade. But we were just using it like sniping right now. That's how it's set up. You could modify this setting file any way you like, so that maybe you want to grab 20 pips instead of just trailing at 7. But you know, that's just the way I have it. But you can always modify it. Here's another trade. Look at the extreme candle we have here. We're looking back 20 candles here. You see that? Or even more than 20 candles. And all of a sudden you have this huge release, probably a news release, and it goes shooting way up. Grabs that buy trade after that long candle and closes in profit. It's an extreme situation. It's a high win ratio. If you were to go to Vegas with this kind of odds, you can win a lot of money if you were to only bet in extreme situations where the high win-loss ratio is nearly 100%. This is what you want to. This is how you want to trade if you want to be conservative and not lose a lot. This is the way you would trade. It doesn't trade much, but when you trade, get a nice profit. Here's another trade. If you notice, again, another extreme situation here, looking back 20 candles, and one huge candle comes up. It's a breakout. Basically, very simply, it's just a really great breakout. Shoots up, goes in profit. Obviously, this one you could have grabbed a lot more pips than that. Grabbed like 10 pips there. You could have grabbed 70 pips right there, or more if it keeps going up. So there's a lot of ways you can use this strategy. You can even perhaps have your MetaTrader to alert you when a trade opens, and then you can jump in and manage this manually too. I mean, that's another way you can do this, is just manage it manually after it opens, and try to grab as much profit, a lot more profit than what this is giving you here. But test, and experiment. Okay, let's take a look at that. You see how it opened up here, and now we only got 10 pips or 8 pips, probably, I think it was like 10 pips here. Yeah, like 10, 12 pips. We could have got 250 pips from that trade using this extreme situation. So you really need to experiment with the settings, because look at this situation, 250 pips. But the way I have it set up right now, with the trailing start at 7 and trailing only 5, it only grabbed 10 pips. So this is something to look for. Okay, here's another one. Take a look. Large candle, well over 200% of the previous 20. Another huge breakout closes. Now, this one actually, using the trailing start at 7 and trailing 5, actually did quite well, because what happened, if you notice, the market started to move in the other direction. Let's see what happens. Yeah, the market started to move in the other direction a little bit there. It came back. Yeah, you see how the market did reverse, but the trailing start at 7, trailing 5 in this situation was the right choice. The other one, we could have grabbed over 250 pips or more, but this one was the right choice. And not only that, if you take a look here, it just opened another one. It retraced in a pretty bad way, and then it came down and profited. So look, here's another extreme situation. This big long candle here, previous 20 here, came down. It took a little bit, it almost hit the trailing start right away, but it didn't. It started to retrace back and came back the next day and profited. Okay, here's another one. Let's see what it does here. Because it didn't. There we go. That's what we want. We got this is what we're looking for. Another large candle here, previous 20, all small, 200% larger. Then another one. It goes into profit, and then another one breaks out to 200% greater than the previous 20, and then boom, it profits another trade. 2 in a row. And if you notice this long candle here, it's well over 200% of the previous 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles, but because this big long one here, it didn't open. That's okay. We don't have it set up that way. If I would have had this set up to be looking back at the last 4 or 5 candles, yeah, this would open up a trade too. But from my experience, the market is too volatile to profit like that. I have to look back 20 candles. It's a better breakout when you look back at 20. But if you come up with better ideas than I have, go for it. Oh, there we go again. This is what we're looking for. Like I said, I'll keep repeating it over and over again. We're looking for an extreme situation, looking back 20 candles, and all of a sudden you have this big breakout. and bam. And this one here is another example where you could have got more than 11, 12 pips. This one here already is up to 80 pips. Could have very easily got a lot more pippage there if you were to just manually close the trade instead of allowing the start trail. If you manage these trades after they open without having a take profit or a start trail, you could potentially make a lot more money than what this is doing automatic. Just keep that in mind. Because obviously this one here, what was the profit? You would have gotten a maximum of 185, 186 pips here at the maximum before it started to truly reverse. Obviously, if you were manually closing this, you'd probably get a little nervous here when it pushed itself down here. You probably would have got out of the trade here at around 70 pips. And then, of course, the market went right back up and started to go higher. But you know how it is with emotions. We would see this and say, oh no, let's get out of the trade, and we would probably close in profit right around there if we were looking at it. But 70, 80 pips is better than 10 or 12. And here's another one. Let's see what happens here, because it retraced and came right back. This is what we want here. We really want this to hit the start trailing immediately. It didn't, but here we go. Big long candle here, longer than the previous 20, and it retraced a little bit there. It did retrace down about 38, 40 pips, and then it came right back in the direction of that candle. So there we go again. That was pretty good. Another one, look at those previous 20 candles, big long one, poof, right up in profit. And if you look at that one there, this one did pretty good for start trailing at 7, because if you were to manage this, you might have took a loss here. If you were to manage this yourself, you might have taken a 25 pip loss here by seeing it reverse so high or hard, and you might have thought, oh no, it's going to go down, and you might have got out of the trade if you manually did this one. But it might, yeah, it's still going up, and then it opens up another one. This is what we want. This is great, because here we go again, another good one. So we got, it's pretty good. Back in July of 2017, we had 3 nice trades open up right here, all extreme situations, and they all worked perfect. Another one in July, fantastic. Here we go again, another long one here, previous 20, breakout, like 4 breakouts in July. We love that. That's what we're looking for. That's what we want with this system. And of course, if you take a look at that again, if you were to manually close this one here, you would have got 100 pips. Here we go again. We have another one, another breakout here with a sell. Did very well. Even the start trailing did well here too, because it actually pulled in another one, another breakout with another good one here. Two breakouts here in August. Oh, there's another one right there in August. Did well again. Another large candle, 200% or more greater than the previous 20. There's another one here, another extreme situation. Another very large candle breaking out from the previous 20 or more candles here. And this one is another example where you could have gotten a lot more profit than what the settings gave you here. You look here again, opened here, grabbed what? Maybe 4 or 5 pips. That's about it. It grabbed there because it started to reverse, 7 pips maybe. You could have grabbed 170 pips on this one instead of a mere 7 or 8. So keep this in mind. This strategy can actually pull in a lot more profit than what the settings are right now. like I said, the only reason why I have it set up this way is to give you 100% profitable wins so that you practically never lose with this situation on Euro USD. That's the goal, to not lose. But you'll do better if you can manage it yourself and get the maximum from each trade. There's another situation here where we have a very extreme candle here compared to the previous 20, and it closed out and reversed. So the trailing start at 7, trail 5 in this situation did extremely well because the market did reverse, and you would have got a really bad loss if you were to close here, up here. But look, the market came right back down eventually. Let's take a look at that 1 second here. Well, if you would have opened here and it reversed 100 pips, so if you had a 152 stop loss and you were to let it ride, you'd have 120 pip profit right here. So this is a complicated trade, though. Most people probably just would have gotten out of the trade here, but if you would have took a chance, you would have got 120 profit here. So but realistically, most likely would have gotten out of here. Here's another extreme situation here, except this one here, it reversed quickly and then came right back. Look, it went up and then it reversed and then it went back up. And here's another one. It worked out. Extreme candle here, previous 20, boom, came down. This is another one of those examples where you could have grabbed a lot more in a manual trade situation. Actually, both of these you could have done quite well. With this one here, you would have got not too much, maybe 20, 30 pips. But this one here, you would have gotten could have gotten 180 pips right there. Use your imagination and see what you can come up with and do a lot better than what I'm doing here. Okay, here we go. Here's another extreme situation. Looking back, the 20 candles here and 200% larger than the previous 20. Grabbed it, and another one very shortly after it the next day. Another major breakout. This is the kind of stuff we're looking for. This is another one here, but it was it didn't have 20 candles prior because these were too big. But that was another breakout. If you would have went back 10 candles, this one would have opened up again. Another one of those situations where you've could have grabbed a lot more than well, this one actually grabbed about 24 pips because it shot right up. But you could have grabbed 250 pips here if you would have just didn't have trailing start set up. You could have let it run and then closed it out way up here, 250 pips. Really think about that. Think about using this strategy like that. But keep an eye on it. There's another extreme situation here. We're looking back to 20 candles and one candle 200% greater than the previous 20. Using trailing start at 7. This one actually did pretty good because if you notice, the market started to come back and reversed really soon after this one opened. So in this case, manually closing wouldn't have done much better. There's another one that just opened up here and retraced a little bit here and then closed in profit. One extreme candle here, bigger, 200% bigger than the previous 20 here. Okay, as you can see, we had quite a good run there. We had 24 trades, all in profit.